Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Creating Process. In today's video, we'll look at how you can create some amazing graphic design concepts using Illustrator and Photoshop. We'll be creating out these three designs using transform option. Like in the previous video, we have seen how we can use geometric shapes to create out some amazing graphic design concepts using the transform option. We have created these three designs. In the same way, today we'll be working on some amazing concepts like complex design concepts similar to this layer design and this wavy complex design using transform option and Photoshop. So in this tutorial, we'll first create out these simple basic design using the transform option to understand the concept. Then we'll create out these layer design using the transform attributes and apply some shadow and layers to it to get this nice cool design. And lastly, we'll create out these wavy complex design using the attributes, various attributes. So transform options, we have applied gradient color, we have applied gaussian blur, liquify, and lots more effects. So we'll be looking at we'll be learning lots of things in this tutorial. So let's begin with the designing process. So first of all, let's understand the basics. So first I'll show you how to create this simple basic design. So let's add a background, and to create this, let's select the ellipse tool, right, and draw a circle. I give it a stroke color white, and let's reduce the size to around this much. Okay, and let's apply transform option. So we want to create this multiple copy of the circle and bend it on the right side. So to create that, let's go to effect, distort and transform, and you get the transform option, and you'll get this transform attribute panel. Here we'll be working on few attributes. So first we need a multiple number of copies. So I'll just increase the number of copies over here. Let's say now we want this to be vertical, so let's increase the height. Okay, so I just add a vertical over here, or maybe you can scale or decrease over here. So we want the movement, so we want to move this vertically. So I just increase the value, and let's increase it to around 17. Okay, that's fine. Now what I need is I needed to give it an angle rotation. So we got this angular options here. Just give it an angular rotation around this much. So as you can see, it's very simple, very easy. Now you can reduce the size. Let's reduce the size a little bit, and here we go. We got an interesting looking design over here. You can either increase the curve, decrease, it's on you, and here we go. So we have played around with scale. We have added a movement attributes over here by adding a number of values to the vertical options, and then we did some adjustment for the angle and number of copies around 18 or 19. That's on up to you. So that's how we created this. Let's create a duplicate. And what we need to do is we want this on the opposite side. So I'll just go over to the appearance and go to transform, yeah, and we just do some little changes. So this time it's on the vertical upward, we'll make it vertical downward, and here we go. Very few changes, very simple, very easy, just simple tweak, and we got that exact similar design. And let's do some color correction. So I'll just change the color of the stroke to something blue. Okay, and click OK. You can get some interesting dark blue color. If you want to apply it, just do that. In the same way, select this other one and apply red color to it. So just give dark red color, and here we go. And if you want to give this ellipse shape, just bring in an ellipse, or maybe you can just create a duplicate of this. Ctrl C, Ctrl F, and remove the transform and add a fill color to it. In the same way, I'll create one more duplicate, place it on top, arrange it to front, and for this we'll fill this up with this blue color and fill it up. And here's our first design. So as you understand how to use transform option, let's look at how you can create this design using the same options. So it's the same tool, but we're going to use it in various ways to get some interesting design. So second design is little complex. As you can see, we have to create some layers to it. So but the steps are very simple. I'm going to show you that. So let's add a background first. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is to create this. I'll just add a circle and create a circle around here. Okay, and let's try to create this shape. So first of all, let's add a stroke color to it. Okay, and we'll use web options. We'll be using web options, so I'll go to effect and web, and here you got lots of options under web. So just select one and just move around with these. So with the arc, you can see with the arc lower, arc upper. So with the arrows, you can just move around and get some interesting designs here. So I think this arc lower is fine. I'll just do some little adjustments, okay, and something little bit of movement, something like that. So as you can see, I'm trying to get that look over here similar to that. And okay, so I'll make it a little bit smaller from here. You can just play around with horizontal or vertical, whichever way you want, or you can choose any other options. But right now I want to recreate this shape, so I'm using arc lower or maybe arc or basic arc, and you can just play around with this. As you can see, you can just make it more interesting with this. You get more freedom to tweak the shape, and I think this looks fine. If you want to scale it down, you can just make it a little bit scale or something like that. And here we go, we got that that design. Now what we need to do is we need to recreate some duplicate of this layer. So it's very simple. I'm going to go to effect, transform, and here transform attributes, and we'll create few copies. So first of all, as you can see, there are 4 to 5 copies, so I'll add 4 to 5 copies. Very simple, very easy. Now what we need is we need to move it outward, so it's going to go outward, so it's basically scaling outward. So I'll just increase and scale it outward, something like that. So just play around with these two horizontal vertical attributes and make it something like this. So as you can see, you got that interesting looking design similar to our example over here. So just make sure they are in proportion, and you can do the adjustments using this attribute value. So we got that nice one. Now what I need is I need to make it a little bit of angular like twist to it. So to add the angular twist, we'll just give it a little bit of slight movement to the angle. So as you can see, you can move around with the angle. So let's give it some interesting twist to it. Maybe if you want to go it up or down. So I think this kind of this looks good, around 2 degrees, or maybe if you want to increase 3, something like that. And what else we can do, we can just see what else. Okay, you can just move around the center point. So I think this, and a little bit of move up and down. Yep, I think this looks good. The original 0 by 0 point is okay. So what we did is we added some horizontal vertical scaling to increase the size. Then we have given some angle and number of copies around, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. So let's reduce it to 4, and we can increase the scale so that we get that surface area, bigger surface area. And okay, so here we go, and I'll just object and expand it, expand appearance, and now I can just move and give some angular movement. So I just rotate it and set it something like this, and here we go. Now what I need is I will just fill this up with a color. So fill it up with some simple different color, which you can see, right? And let's expand it, object, expand, and make sure it's fill and stroke, and click OK. So everything has been expanded to fill object. So if we go in, we got that stroke also. So I'll just go again, object, expand, and now ungroup everything. So ungroup, 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 and everything is now ungrouped. As you can see, if I move around, the layers are separate, the strokes are separate. So this is what we want. Each layer is separate now. So let's fill some color to this. So I'm going to use these color palette over here. I'll show you the color palette later on. So what I do is I'll select this with the eye picker tool. I'll just pick this color, and I'll show you the color code. This is the color code we have used. So just copy this color code and you'll get the same color code. Okay, do the same for others. Selecting that eye picker, pick this color, and I'll show you the color code over here. Here's the color code. Next, select this and pick this color, and the color code is this one. Next, select this and pick the other color. So I'll just pick this. Okay, and lastly pick the inner circle. Okay, so let me show you the color code of this one. Double click, and here's the color code. And for the last one, the color code I have used is this. 252158. So here we go, all the color codes are like this. Now what we need to do is we need to apply color to these outlines. So as you can see, we have given some interesting look, and here you can see I have given some thinness over here and some broadness over here to give that perspective look. So we'll try to recreate that. So what I'll do is I'll first select all the strokes, right? So select all the strokes, and let's see if it's selected. Yes, it is selected. Now I'll just add some stroke thickness to it. Okay, first of all, something like that, and we'll expand this object, expand, and make it stroke and fill. And here we go. Now let's fill this up with dark color. So let's choose some dark color. If you want to choose something from here, you can just go here and pick this color from here. Okay, now let's arrange it to back. So with the command pressed, I'll just arrange it to back, and I'll just move a little bit sideways, something like this, or you can just play around with the arrows. I'll just place it, make it thinner on this side and thicker on the other side. Okay, and let's see how it looks. So as you can see, we have added a nice stroke outline to it, and we have given some thickness over here and some thinness over there. So this is how we have got that nice interesting looking object here. And if you want to give some darkness to this, we can just select this and make it a little darker, and the outline will be a little darker now. And now let's add the text. So it's very simple. I just go in there, copy this text, and Command V, and I'll just place it around here. Please copy this, Control C, Control F, arrange it to front. Okay, arrange to front, and selecting the text, make clipping mask. Okay, double click over there, and here we go. So the second design is ready now. We have created this complex design of layers using transform options. We have applied fill color and strokes color to it. As you can see, by giving some stroke thickness and adjusting its placement to a little bit sideways, you have given this interesting looking design, which looks like a little bit of depth to it, which has added some interesting depth to it. And here I have tweaked some little bit adjustment over here. I have given it thickness to this, make it a little bit broader, and applied dark color to it just to get this interesting look similar to this. So now this is the layer design. Now let's look at how we can create out this third design, which is the wavy curvy lines design. So we're going to use Illustrator and Photoshop to create out this design. Simple. We have used the shapes, these two shapes, which is created using transform option. It's random curvy design. In the same way, I have created another one, which is going to be other piece, which is random. I'm going to place it on top of each other, and we're going to create this. So let's add a new background to this new artwork. And to create this curvy circular ellipse shapes, let's select the ellipse tool and draw out a circle. Okay, give it a stroke color white. Okay, and after that, let's go to transform. So selecting that, go to effect, distort and transform, and go to transform. And here we're going to do some adjustment with the attributes. So what do we need over here is we need a number of copies. So let's increase the number of copies. Okay, similar to that. After that, we'll reduce the adjust the scaling value. So let's reduce the scaling value around 97 for the top one, and 90, maybe 91, 92, around similar to that. And let's add some rotation. Yes, as you can see, if I increase the rotation value, you got that randomness. So I'll just set the angle to around 72, 73, 74, and just play around with the number of copies. So just play around with the number of copies, and you can just play around with the horizontal and vertical moving attributes as well. So I think this looks great. I'll place it and click OK. This is our first. Now I'll create under duplicate of it with the operator, click and drag and create. Selecting that, go to the appearance panel and open transform. Okay, and under transform, we're gonna what we can do, we can reduce the number of copies to, first of all, this much, and let's reduce the angle to around, maybe around 24, 25, or maybe less than that, and try to get this design. Okay, and that's just great. I'll just click OK. Now I'll place it on top of each other, and here we go. Now selecting this shape, we'll go to Photoshop. just lock this, selecting these two shapes. We'll go to Photoshop. So open Photoshop. I have already created a design over here. As you can see, it's the same concept which I have created previously. So here you can see I have applied some various attributes over here. I have applied Liquify, I have applied Gaussian blur, which is blur gallery. Then I have applied bevel and emboss. And we have given interesting this gradient color to it. So let's try to recreate this. So open a new artboard. So select 1000 by 1000 pixels and create over. So here's a file, blank file. Now let's bring in our shapes. So selecting that, drag and drop it to Photoshop and place it there. So here we go. Now I'll just change the background color to darker color overlay, and random dark blue color, something like that. And I'll just like that and decrease the size a little bit, around this much. And now let's apply a gradient color. So double click over here, gradient overlay, and here's a color code. So magenta and blue. The color code for magenta is F600FF, and this is the color code we're going to use. So let's change some adjustments. Do the same for the other. This is the color, light blue color. Interesting light blue color, and the color code is 00F0FF, and click OK. And we'll do the adjustments slider. So I'm just place it around here, the slider around here, and click OK. So and also you can just move around, click OK, and again go in there, and you can just move the gradient according to your placement, desired placement. So if you want to place it over here or here or here, you can just do that. I'll just place it in the center for now, and opacity to full, angle, let's set the angle a little bit, okay, fine, and scaling value over here. So for now I'll place it this way. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to apply Liquify. So let's apply Liquify to it. So we'll go to filter and Liquify, and here's the Liquify option. Now let's do some adjustments. So we want to modify the shape, so let's push it downward over here, and from here also push it downward, and I'll just increase the size a little bit and push it here and here, and from here also I'll push it here and click OK. Very simple, very easy. Now let's apply Gaussian blur to it. So I'll go to filter, blur gallery, and Irish blur. So we're going to use this blur effect, which is very interesting. As you can see, you can I'll just place it around here and reduce the size a little bit. And from this I'll just place it like, you can just play around with the blur value and just bring it a little bit inward and increase the blur value, move around, and if you are okay with it, just click OK, and here we go. We have applied the blur value as well. Now next thing we're going to do is to apply bevel and emboss. So double click on the layer to open the layer side panel, and here just take bevel and emboss, okay. And let's start adjusting the values. So make sure it's in a bevel, it's smooth, okay, and start playing around with the, okay, so this much, okay, and yep, light angle to around this side or maybe that side, so it depends on you. Let's play around with the light angle. And here make it linear, opacity to maybe around full, multiply, so all the attributes. So it's mainly scale and the depth value. So if you want to increase the depth, you can increase it, or maybe a little bit subtle, and something like that. Okay, and let's click OK, and let's check out. Oh, it's looking good. We can just go into blur value and do some adjustments to give some more blurriness to this, or you can just move around the adjustments, okay, and click OK, and here we go. Now if you see over here, we have given a depth or a dark shadow in the center, which is looking like a depth. So what I'll do is I'll add a new layer, and we'll use this ellipse marker tool and draw out a circle in the center, and fill this out with Alt backspace, black color, or maybe dark blue color, okay, Alt backspace and Command D, and we'll blur this out. Make sure it's multiply, and filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and just blur this out, similar to this. Okay, we'll create another duplicate of it and scale down the size. and place it around here in the center. And as you can see, it's almost looking like this. And this is how we have added that interesting looking effects, which is bevel and embers, gradient overlay, blur gallery, and liquify. Now you can just select all these and Command Control T and increase the size a little bit. Okay, enter. Now what I'll do is I'll select all the layers and convert it to smart object, and after that we'll just bring into Illustrator. Okay, here it is. I'll just move this aside and place this around here, scale up the size, okay, according to our requirement, similar to that. And well, what I'll do is I'll just create a copy of a background. So Command Control C, Command Control F, and arrange it to front, and just make clipping mask. So arrange, make clipping mask, and place it around here, place it in the center. And if you want to add a text, you can just type out text, BORDO2 ART. Change the text color to white and reduce this size to around this much and place it on top. And here we go. Our third design is also ready. So in the first design, we have understood how to use transform option and created this basic design, which is using the ellipse and the number of copies, and how you can use vertical and horizontal move attributes. In the second design, we have used the transform option, and we have used all the other attributes to create this interesting layer design. And lastly, the third design, which is very complex, we have used ellipse tool to create out of multiple copies of the ellipse and arrange into random shapes using the transform option. And after that, we have went to Photoshop and applied various other attributes to get this interesting looking design. And lastly, we have added this text, and here we go. This is our final design. And each time when you create this design, it's going to be a little bit of random. So it's all about randomness, and the concept is going to be the same, but designs is going to be a little bit random. So here's how we have created this 3D design. In the previous video, if you haven't seen our previous design where we have used geometric shapes to create out some interesting concept using transform option, just check it out. The next tutorial, we're going to work on some more amazing graphic design concepts, which is going to be very interesting. So don't forget to check out the next tutorial coming up. And if you want more updates on designing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this channel. Thank you.